Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. So as you guys know, LeBron fans have been really upset with the Lakers franchise because they feel like they're not giving him the proper respect that he deserves. They feel that about the fan base. They want them to kiss his feet and do all of these things, when in reality, he's been there for 8 years and he's only been able to win one bubblicious ring, right? But nevertheless, they want him. They want the fan base to bow down. And LeBron's been there for 8 years and has been to one finals under very unusual circumstances. So for that, they're very upset. Now, given the breakout year that Austin Reeves was having this year, it put LeBron in a precarious position, because now we knew that at the very least he was going to be the second option. But with Austin Reeves having a career year and where he's put himself in a position to now sign for max dollars, it inadvertently pushed LeBron to the third option, right? A position that he didn't want to be in, and certainly his fans didn't want him to be in, because why? The number one reason LeBron fans don't want LeBron to be the third option is because it affects his stats. LeBron fans, they basically live for stats like he does. So whenever they're having their arguments and their GOAT debates, they base it off of stats. And they knew that by LeBron taking a lesser role, he wouldn't be able to put up 25, 30, whatever it is, a night. So the game that they lost recently to the Dallas Mavericks, a game in which they should have lost to the 12th seed Mavs, who are 9-1 or 1-9 coming into that game. There's a video that's going viral of LeBron James taking a shot at the Los Angeles Lakers franchise for basically saying they put me on the shelf and all of this, for making me the third option. For those of you who didn't see this video, I want to play it for you now so you guys can watch LeBron here, and then we'll come back and continue on the show. Take a look at that.
Don't let them about 40. Don't let them about 40, though. Put me on the shelf, you know?
So you heard what LeBron James had to say there. What are my thoughts about this? What do you expect them to do, man? You said that you were injured in the beginning of the season. What, did you expect Austin Reeves to play below his abilities? He played up to his talent. He became an all-star caliber player. You decided you didn't want to play. So now you got to deal with the ramifications of that. Number one. Number two, you're 41 years old. Every other 41-year-old will be coming off the bench. You'll be coming off the bench. Thirdly, JJ Redick could look at the data. It's clear to see that when him and Luka and Reeves play, they're a better team. And it makes better sense for the offense to go through their best scorers. Excuse me. It makes better sense for them to do that. So I don't think it's a personal thing if they are doing this. No. And the fact is, look, the Lakers, although LeBron has done a lot for the fan base, as his supporters like to say, but they've done a lot for him too, right? It's been a symbiotic relationship where both parties have benefited mightily from it. So for you to be disgruntled, my guy, you're 41. All of your mates have retired. You're 41. I don't know any other basketball team you would go to that's a serious team that you would be a first option. What other team that's a legitimate contender would make you the first option? There's no other team. The Spurs wouldn't. The Thunder wouldn't. The Rockets wouldn't. The Wolves wouldn't. The Knicks wouldn't. Boston wouldn't. Detroit wouldn't. Philly wouldn't. I'm just throwing out teams now. Like, none of these teams would. So even Cleveland wouldn't. So for me, it's nothing to be like, oh, they're putting you on the shelf. They're doing what's best for the team based on the data we've seen. We have the data here to show that Reeves and Luka is their best bet to win games. Does it mean that they're going to win a title? No, but it means that the team is at its best when you're playing the third role. And you saw that during the stretch that they had. They beat the Nuggets. They beat the Rockets back to back. I think they beat I know they beat the Chicago Bulls. I forgot who else they beat, minus the loss that they had against Oklahoma City Thunder. So I don't think is the Lakers conspiring against you to hurt you and hurt your stock and all. No, I don't think it's any of that. right? I just think that they talking about they put you on the shelf. Bro, what do you want to be, the first option? You're not better than Luka. You're not. So you can't be the first option. And I know your fans believe that you're better than Austin Reeves. Not in this point in time. LeBron is 41 years old. It's not a knock on him. He's old. Everybody gets old. It's not a knock on him. As you guys know, Matt Barnes recently made some comments about Stephen A. Smith about a few days ago, where he was basically kind of reacting to the comments that he made about LeBron James. And in the midst of that, he also called out Stephen A. Smith for some of his political commentary. So for those of you who don't remember that, we want to play that quickly for you now. Take a listen to Matt Barnes here.
So I just saw a video of Stephen A. Smith having an issue with LeBron on a golf course with a bunch of white boys, as he put it, talking about Memphis and how they should move to Nashville. And if you've been paying attention on social media, it's kind of a trending topic right now. I played in Memphis, got a lot of love for the city, but there's no doubt that the city needs to upgrade when it comes to its facilities for pro players. But Stephen A., you shouldn't have a problem with that. You're talking about his words and what they mean to the black community. But you've been the same man in front of the camera for the last handful of months, disrespecting Serena Williams, disrespecting Jasmine Crockett, disrespecting Kamala Harris, and tap dancing for the whole Republican Party, the whole white Republican Party. But you got an issue with LeBron talking about a trending topic, and his words carry weight, and he doesn't understand what his words can do to the black community. Do you understand the talking and what that can do to the black community? We all used to have a lot of love for you, bro, particularly me, because you looked out. But we're not going to forget the right now.
Great. So you heard that. Now, if you know anything about Stephen A. Smith, you knew that he was going to respond to this. Stephen A. Smith responds to everything that's said about him. Everything. Stephen A. Smith doesn't have any thick skin whatsoever, but he wants to run for president. The guy responds to as long as you're a celebrity, he's going to respond to you no matter what. He will respond to anything that's said about him. To me, it's becoming it's like, come on, man, you can let stuff go. Like, my God, you have to respond to every single thing. So he put out a preview on his Instagram or Twitter, where he was like, I'm going to be responding to you and blah, 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 blah. Now, usually when he does stuff like that, he sometimes goes on ESPN to use the entire show to make it about him. But in this case, he went on his Straight Shooter show where he decided to fire back at Matt Barnes, and he just went off. Take a listen to Stephen A. Smith going at Matt Barnes here.
Couple of things. Let's talk about LeBron. Why y'all all act, were y'all flamethrowers? You employed by the brother? Why are we overreacting to every damn thing that he's LeBron? He makes news. I report on it. I'm not an influencer. It's my job. It's my job. First Take is on the show, on the airwaves, 10 a.m. to 12 noon every weekday morning. Sirius XM is on the air from 1 to 3 p.m. every afternoon. Forget my political show for a second. Forget the fact that I own my own production company. Forget the fact that I own my own YouTube channel. I just gave you 2 jobs where I'm obligated to address the news. Y'all volunteering. Influencers. I'm a reporter. It's my job. I ain't just sitting up there smoking some weed and then I decide, I want to get this off my chest. Looking like I'm doing one of them Spike Lee videos where I'm strolling on some chair or whatever while I'm talking shit about somebody I'm supposed to be cool with. I'm doing my job. So let me do that job. LeBron James is critical of Memphis. What I said was, because Memphis, the city, is 63% black. And you're talking about the team needing to move from Memphis to Nashville. We know that economically they struggle. We know that once upon a time, crime, pestilence, etc., homicides, murders, thefts, etc., was real prevalent. And then Paul Young came in there and has admittedly and has definitely steered the city in the right direction, and major props to the mayor. But it's still an issue. What I was saying was, knowing how economically ravaged the departure of the Memphis Grizzlies would be, it's not a great look for one of the greatest players in the history of basketball to flippantly discuss the matter on a golf course with a bunch of cats that don't look anything like the 63.5% of the population in Memphis. That the subject needed to be treated with more seriousness than it deserved. That's it. I didn't say LeBron James was awful. I didn't say that he was terrible. I didn't say anything. I'm just saying, because of who you are, might want to be careful. And it warranted that? That's what it warranted? Do y'all understand how this is throwing me off? All the Smoke had me on their podcast years ago just to give me my flowers for who I am and what I've represented. I ain't changed. When I was in contract talks and my money was thrown all over the place and people were speculating about what bag was coming down the pike for me, wasn't it Matt Barnes that said this? Stephen A. Smith is one of the biggest personalities, and we're hearing talks that he possibly could get a $100 million contract as a media member. There's still friendly competition on the side of the game as well, because as the money gets bigger for the game, that means the money is going to get bigger for the media. Wasn't it Matt Barnes that said that? Wasn't it me that had been seen on countless occasions talking about, I want everybody to get their bag. I'm happy that people are piggybacking off of me. I'm happy that you're in a position to get paid. And oh, by the way, don't go by just what I say. Use me as the conduit for conversation to springboard off of so you can have something to say and you can get paid too. That wasn't me. I think it was me. Was that me, Josh? That was me. I did that. Because I'm not rooting against anybody. I'm rooting for y'all. That doesn't require you to agree with me. It doesn't require you it doesn't require you to have your own opinions. This is a conversation about respect. Matt Barnes, you know that on my worst day, I would never talk about you like that. Not in a million goddamn years. Not in a million years. You know that. Why? How? Because I've had ample opportunity to do so, and I never have. Not in your entire career. I've always looked out. I've always big upped. I've always had nothing but profound respect for you. And I got to see you on social media popping shit about me like that? Really? Over some shit about LeBron, and then come to find out it ain't even about LeBron. I'll get into that in a second. But just to make sure that I'm not hypocritical here, what were we really talking about with LeBron? I'm sitting there saying be careful about being so flippant. That's it. Be in a serious confine. Address the issue with the seriousness that it's going to deserve, because it's going to affect the lives of a lot of black people.
Excellent. So you heard what he had to say. What are my thoughts about this? First of all, let's address this. The comments that LeBron is making about Memphis. Stephen A. Smith is on record for years talking about how he doesn't like to go to small towns and small cities. He would prefer if the finals or this game would be in Miami, LA, or New York. That's Stephen A. Smith. All right. Last time I checked, you're a black person. You like to feel like you represent some segment of the black community, and you talk down these little towns too. It's not the exact same thing in terms of what you're going at LeBron for, but you've done the same thing too. As a matter of fact, you and Molly Karam have gotten into it on air, where you're like almost upset that potentially we could have finals matchups. I think we're talking about OKC in the finals. You're like, no, I wish it was LA. Like, so this thing that you're going at LeBron James, come on, man, bro, you do the same thing. In terms of Matt Barnes, here's what I think really struck a chord with Stephen A. Smith. It's not the LeBron thing. No. It's not the LeBron thing. It's the comments he made about the stuff that you've been saying about various black figures. That's the one that's really bothering him. The same way the thing that Terrell Owens said about him on ESPN. That is the thing that's really pissing him off. And that's why he's doing this entire show. He can say whatever he wants, but that's the thing. Because Stephen A. Smith really gets bothered when people call him out for tap dancing, as they like to say. He really gets bothered by it. And that's the fact. Now, it isn't just Matt Barnes that's called him out. We're talking about people from his own community that have called him out. A lot of people of color. Joy Reid, Don Lemon, D.L. Hughley, Roland Martin, I think Van Lathan. So many people that are black now have called out Steve. Even Jasmine Crockett took a subtle shot at Stephen A. Smith. So it's not just Matt Barnes. And if all of these people are saying this particular thing about you, there must be something there. Now, here's the thing with Stephen A. And I think the thing that Matt Barnes is referring to here. Stephen A. Smith likes to fashion himself as an independent or a centrist, however he wants to describe himself. But if you listen to his rhetoric, he's the total opposite. Stephen A. has cultivated a conservative audience by constantly attacking the Democrats. I'll give you guys an example of this. Recently, he did a sit down with Sage Steele talking about Kamala Harris. Is Kamala Harris president? Is Joe Biden president? Are the Democrats the ones that empower? How can you still be talking about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden with all of what's going on in the world right now? How is that your talking point? That's what people are talking about. And that's why it struck a nerve with him. That's the reason he's so fired up and he's going at Matt Barnes for that exact reason. And guess what? You made your bed, you lay in it. You put out this kind of content on a daily basis. You should be ready to deal with the barbs that come your way. But for you to act like you don't know where this is coming from is crazy to me. As you guys know, the Lakers just lost to the Dallas Mavericks, a team that they had no business losing to. So if you look at the NBA standings right now, they're now currently the number 4 seed. Somehow, some way, the Lakers have now fallen to the number 4 seed. And it's probably going to most likely get worse. But one person still believes that the Lakers can do something, even without Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. And that's, of course, delusional Nick Wright. Nick Wright, who's another LeBron James zealot, recently reacted to the news of Austin Reeves now being out. And he went on First Things First with his partner, Chris Broussard and Kevin Wiles, where he was basically trying to hold on to this hope that, maybe one day in the future, LeBron, we can figure it out. LeBron may win the first round. And Chris Broussard, you got to love him for this. You got to love Chris for this. He looked Nick Wright dead in his face and told him, Nick, it's over. There are no more championships. It's over. Take a look at Chris Broussard. Take a listen to what Chris Broussard had to say here.
The playoffs start April 18th and 19th. Game 3 is that following weekend for most series. So that'd be April 25th or 26th. If Luka's back by then, I think the Lakers are very viable in round 1. But yeah, losing your best and third best player days before the playoffs typically wrecks team seasons. And I think that's what happened here.
They're done. They're done. I said last week they were done before Austin Reeves was hurt. Now with him hurt, they are definitely done. And LeBron James yesterday was phenomenal. That might be his best game of the year. I mean, he was tremendous. And they still
lost to the Mavs.
Lost to a team that is 5-18 since the All-Star break. And last week got destroyed by a Minnesota team without Anthony Edwards and another team without its best player. I forgot who it is now, but it was ugly. All right. And so they're just not, they're going to go out in the first round. I mean, if Luka's back miraculously, maybe, but even if he comes back, what kind of shape's he going to be in?
Correct.
I was saying last week with LeBron and Luka, or LeBron and Austin Reeves, I think they could have beaten Houston, not Denver. Minnesota's interesting. Ant's not really back yet. Let's see what happens with him. But if he comes back at full speed, they won't beat Minnesota either. And I don't think at this team right here, I mean, there was a Kobe B out there, but it was Kobe Buffkin.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's just a bad roster around LeBron right now out there. I mean, you know, they got some decent players, but it's just not enough.
The four most important players on the Lakers this year have been Luka, LeBron, Austin Reeves, and Marcus Smart. And three of them right now are injured. But you're talking about it like even, like if they were healthy, we just saw it against OKC. Now, I know Marcus Smart was missing, but I don't think he's worth 40 points. They were going to likely get beat anyway. No, but hold on. I guess
OKC or San
I don't
Antonio
know.
or
Is the
Denver,
question we're asking here?
Is the Lakers season over? That's what we're asking.
No. I understand, but what I'm saying is, does that mean are the Lakers dead as winning the title, or does that mean are the Lakers, you know, basically de facto eliminated from the playoffs?
I think the latter.
Right. And so if the question is, can the Lakers win the title?
Latter?
The answer is no. If the question is, could we still see the Lakers in round 2? My answer is that depends on Luka coming back.
Well, of course, but I don't think he's coming back, and I think they're done. I think they're going out. I think Houston would beat them now.
So Houston, listen.
And they might fall. Look, they might meet OKC, San Antonio, or Denver.
No.
In the first.
No,
they could fall out of third.
What? They can't fall past 5th, bro.
Okay, so they meet Houston or Denver.
They would play.
They could meet Denver.
Right, and they would. I think they would lose to Denver without Luka.
Absolutely.
Obviously, I think they would lose to Houston if they go a full series without Luka. But Luka, the fact
Luka
that
and Reeves.
And I think at this point Reeves is oddly longer term than Luka.
So it's 4 to 6.
I agree.
Yeah, and so I think that if they play Houston in round 1, and if 3 weeks from today Luka is back, I think they can win in round 1.
So I know this is where we start to get funky and like.
Excellent. So you heard what Chris had to say. What are my thoughts about this? Chris Broussard is 100% correct that it's over. The Lakers are not winning anything anymore. It's done. And now we're just getting the news that LeBron James is not going to play against OKC tonight. So what's most likely going to happen is the Lakers are going to tumble all the way down the standings, and they'll probably finish at the 5th spot. Probably, right? Once they finish at the 5th spot, then things get dicey because the 5th seed plays who? The 4th seed. So if the Rockets go up to the 4th, they're going to play Houston in round 1. If somehow Denver falls to 4 and Houston goes up, then they're going to get that ass tapped by the Denver Nuggets. Or somehow, some way, they end up facing the Minnesota Timberwolves if the Timberwolves stay at the 6th seed and the Lakers find a way to go back to the 3. So it's a total mess. Now, Nick Wright is saying that the Lakers can win a first-round series without LeBron James. To that, I say you're insane. The Lakers couldn't beat the 12th place Dallas Mavericks, who going into that game had they were 1-9 over their last 10. They couldn't beat them. But as a playoff team, like for instance, Minnesota, they're going to beat that they lost to in round 1 last year with Luka and Austin Reeves. They're going to beat them. It's over. Nick, we've been listening to Nick Wright for years. LeBron could win it this year. LeBron could win it for years. Talk about the possibility of LeBron pulling out another rabbit out of his hat. Nick, it's over. LeBron fans, it's over. It's done, at least for this year. Now, y'all can try to regroup and maybe come back next year with the Lakers, or maybe go to the Golden State Warriors, or maybe go to the Cleveland Cavaliers. You can go wherever you like. Wherever you like. But as far as I know, this year is a rappity rap. It's done. There are no championships coming. There are none. And to me, the thing that I really don't understand is, why are you guys so transfixed on winning championships? I thought culture was weird. That's what I'm trying to figure. You guys said championship culture is weird. So what's this fixation on winning championships? Or is it that you don't even believe the own rhetoric that you're putting out there? I mean, come on, let's make sense. Can we make sense out of this? So it's over. It's over. There's no more winning. There is no more, we're going to win in round 1. It's over. And even if they somehow miraculously do get out of round 1, you're not getting out of round 2. The Lakers are not going to beat the Thunder or the Spurs or the Nuggets. You can forget it. Not with this group. It's over. And I wish LeBron fans will come to this realization that, bro, it's been a fun ride, but after a while, you got to get the hell off the ride. The guy's been playing for 23 good years, 23 good seasons, 23 of them good ones. And out of that, he's able to get 4 championships. What do you want him to play for 25 years and win 4 championships? That sounds insane. That sounds crazy. Especially given all of the talent that LeBron James has played with over the years. It sounds insane.